Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. There's been another huge twist in the food stamp situation, and honestly, this one has left millions of families completely stunned. Just days after, states were told they could issue full SNAP benefits for November, the Trump administration has now reversed course, telling states to stop those payments immediately and even undo any that have already gone out. Yeah, you heard that right. Families who already saw their benefits hit their EBT cards are now being told those payments weren't authorized. So here's what actually happened. Late Saturday night, the USDA sent an emergency memo to all 50 states, ordering them to roll back any full SNAP payments that had been issued. This came right after the Supreme Court stepped in with what's called an administrative stay. That's basically a legal pause button. Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson signed the order Friday night, temporarily blocking a lower court ruling that had forced the government to pay full SNAP benefits during the government shutdown. Following that Supreme Court decision, the USDA told states that only 65% of the monthly benefits could be legally supported. Right now, the same partial amount that has been used as a placeholder while the shutdown drags on. The memo warned that if states ignored the directive and continue paying full benefits, they could lose federal administrative funding or even be forced to repay the extra money out of their own budgets. Now, here's where it gets messy. Some states, including Oregon, New York, and Wisconsin, had already started sending out full payments after the lower court ruling earlier in the week. So when the USDA suddenly said stop, it caused total confusion. Some families already got their full benefits, while others didn't, and state agencies were left scrambling to figure out what they were allowed to do. Governors in several states are pushing back hard. Wisconsin's Governor Tony Evers flat out said no. He is refusing to comply, and told reporters that his administration is fighting in court to protect food assistance for kids, families, and seniors. Massachusetts Governor Maura Healey said the same thing. CS telling residents to keep using their benefits and warned the USDA that if they try to penalize her state, they'll see the president in court. Legal experts are also weighing in, saying it may not even be legal for the federal government to claw back benefits that have already been issued. One law professor said the USDA's memo looks more like an intimidation tactic than a legitimate order, especially since states were already following a court ruling at the time the payments went out. So what's the reasoning behind all this? The Trump administration says it's about fiscal responsibility. Officials argue that SNAP can't be fully funded during a shutdown unless Congress passes a new budget, and that the government has to be careful not to run out of money if the shutdown continues. A USDA spokesperson even said the well has run dry, and blamed congressional Democrats for refusing to approve the administration's spending bill. Supporters of this move say it's not cruelty, it's caution. They believe the administration is simply managing limited funds responsibly, but critics aren't buying it. Senator Amy Klobuchar called the decision cruelty-is policy, and many others say it. It's just another example of political games being played at the expense of hungry families. And honestly, when you look at the human side of this, it's easy to understand the outrage. Over 42 million Americans rely on SNAP every single month to feed their families, seniors, veterans, working parents, and kids. For many, these benefits aren't just supplemental. They're essential. When the USDA tells states to undo payments, it doesn't just create confusion, it creates fear. Food banks across the country are already seeing surges in demand, especially in cities like Miami, New York, and Philadelphia, as families try to stretch whatever they have left. Grocery stores are reporting EBT transaction delays, and some state offices say their systems could be disrupted because they don't even know which payment files are valid anymore. The USDA has changed its guidance multiple times in just 1 week. One day saying send full payments, the next saying hold partials, and now saying undo fulls. It's been complete whiplash for state workers trying to follow the rules. In fact, Massachusetts officials call the USDA's communication incoherent and unprecedented in a recent court filing. And they're not wrong. This kind of back and forth isn't just an administrative headache. It's a real human problem. Every change impacts people's grocery budgets, their meal planning, and their peace of mind. From a legal standpoint, this fight could reshape how welfare programs are handled during national emergencies. If the courts side with the Trump administration, it could give the federal government more power to control how states issue benefits during shutdowns. But if the states win, it could affirm the governors have the authority to protect their residents, even when Washington is gridlocked. Either way, the decision will set a major precedent, not just for SNAP, but for Medicaid, housing aid, and other safety net programs down the road. As of now, the appeals court is expected to weigh in soon. That ruling will decide whether states can go back to issuing full benefits or have to stick with partial ones until a budget deal is reached. But one thing is clear. This latest reversal shows just how fragile America's safety net can become when politics take center stage. So yeah, stay tuned. This story is still developing fast. If you've been tracking your benefits, let us know in the comments what's happening in your state. Your experiences help others understand how this chaos is playing out across the country. And if you find updates like this helpful, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the next one, because this situation is changing by the day.